The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Living Well with Ann Beal. Our show is a health show, a lifestyle show, and an empowerment show rolled into one. Get ready to hear some stories of success, healthy living tips, and suggestions to get motivated and live your best life. Now, here is your host, Ann Beal.
Welcome to Living Well. This is Ann Beal, your host. Today's guest is Phil Flores. He is a naturopathic doctor, and he works at Life Solutions Wellness Clinic. And we are having him on today to talk about naturopathic medicine. A lot of people don't really know what that is. And so basically, the naturopaths want to get you well without drugs. And so Phil also does massage therapy. He uses essential oils, supplements. And so he's here today to talk to you about all those areas. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, Phil, a lot of people don't know exactly what you do. A lot of people here in Texas, definitely where we are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, don't even know what a naturopathic doctor is. So first, tell us where you're from.
I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. Grew up in Decatur for like the first 4 years, and we moved to Fort Worth and been there ever since, and then went off to medical school at Tempe, Arizona. That's where we went to naturopathic medical school.
And so I met you on your return from Arizona.
Correct.
So you went to naturopathic med school.
Yes.
In Tempe.
Tempe.
And so you have an NMD or an ND, like what do you call that?
Well, it says naturopathic doctorate, naturopathic medical, degree. So it's 4 years of medical school, and usually the last 2 years you're in the clinical settings. So you take the board exams after 2 years. Your first 2 years are basically the same as if you would go to traditional medical school. You get all your sciences and you take a board exam, and then you have your 2 years of the clinical rotations, and you take the board exams for that as well, being the physical diagnosis. We have laboratory diagnosis, pharmacology. I mean, you take all those tests. So it's everything you would learn at a traditional medical school, plus you also learn lots of nutrition, you bring in the Eastern medicine.
Yeah, and I think that most people don't realize there's more than one kind of med school. There's actually 3 or 4 kinds of med schools. I know DOs go to med school, MDs go to a different med school, naturopathic doctors are NDs, like you go to a different med school. Are there more than that?
As far as I know, that's pretty much the 3 for that. They'll also have, physician assistants and nurse practitioners, which can also prescribe.
And they go to like a 3-year med school, right? Okay. So can you explain why you chose to go to a naturopathic med school instead of a medical doctor med school?
Well, I had a cousin of mine, 42 years old, was diagnosed with colon cancer. And the last thing that I can remember is him telling me about his doctor. Said, you know what, this is all I can do for you. You should just go home, say your goodbyes. There's not much else we can do. And I just saw him deteriorate so fast. So I said, there's got to be something else. And I was in my last class at the University of North Texas, child psychology. And I met Nicole, and she's now also a naturopathic doctor in Arizona. And she was telling me all about this school and how they were, working on natural therapies. And once I found that out, I was like, kind of piqued my interest. So I went and visited the school, came back, told my wife, honey, we're moving to Arizona. So after that, I just fell in love with the medicine.
So you went straight out of college, and you like the idea of the naturopathic. Your friend who died from cancer, did they do any natural therapy at all for him?
Well, he did try some. I know he was doing some herbs, but I didn't at the time. I didn't really know too much about the natural therapies, and he was doing. I remember some powder, but I wasn't sure what exactly he was doing at the time.
Because the cancer hospitals, the cancer sections of hospitals, they say on the list of things that they do, it will say naturopathic. But they don't actually use those for cancer. They use them to make the patient more comfortable. So they don't actually do naturopathic medicine for them. And they don't recommend other kinds of cures for cancer outside of drugs. Okay. And so I was just wondering what it was about your friend that had gone to Nicole, what it was about her that made you want to do that.
Well, she just mentioned to me how they, used a lot of natural therapies to make people well. I mean, basically they were using their diet, lots of dieting, lots of juicing, with the fruits and vegetables and Chinese herbs as well. And they had great results. And so I was like, I got to go check this out. So
now I noticed how you said that, and I know that the FDA and all the licensing people do not allow any naturopathic or natural person who's using natural means besides drugs for people.
Right.
Not if you use them for animals, you can say the cure word. You can cure cancer in animals, right? But you're not allowed to say that if you're working on people as a naturopath or any kind of natural means. You're only allowed to say you make them better.
Yes, give them better quality of life.
Give them better quality of life. Okay, that's really good. Mm-hmm. So for the listeners out there, I want you to realize that when he says it makes them feel all better or it makes everything go away or whatever, we have to use those terms so that Dr. Phil doesn't get in trouble, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All righty. And so you went off to Tempe and you went to med school. Did it just blow your mind, all the stuff that you learned?
It did. I mean, when I didn't know too much about acupuncture. I mean, just the results that brought to people and the just letting food be your medicine. I mean, that was a big change because before all we knew was, hey, I'm sick, let me go get a pill or stuff like that. So, I mean, as naturopaths, we also have prescription rights. We can write prescriptions as well, but
for drugs, you mean?
Drugs, yes, for drugs. But we tend to treat first naturally, first by choice. And if the patient wants to try something different, that they have that option.
Now, one of the, there are some drugs that are incredible that they have really saved lives, and that would be antibiotics. So in Arizona, you can become a regular doctor, have your practice, just like any other doctor.
Correct.
But not here in Texas.
Correct.
And so there's only a few states that don't let you do that. Most states do.
Well, there's about 17 states that naturopaths can practice in currently.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was like 32 or something like that.
No, it's about 17.
17. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so there, if you have your regular, if you're like like Dr. Wallach was, he was a family doctor, he was a general practitioner, then you would use antibiotics, right? Or would you not?
You can. I mean, it's like I said, a lot of times the patients, some of them get really impatient, and they're like, this stuff isn't working. You have to develop a therapeutic, effect to it in order to get over some things. And a lot of times people will like, I just want that pill. They're so trained that way. Like they want that pill. They want to get fixed. They want it now. But with natural medicine, sometimes it's a little bit slower, but you get the same results. You get good results.
So there are natural antibiotics, aren't there?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what those are, if you don't mind.
Well, you have garlic, you have turmeric would help with,
turmeric.
Inflammation. I mean, capsaicin. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can use to help the body.
Even thieves, the oil thieves.
Thieves, oregano. Yeah.
Okay. because I know that Dr. Wallach has he's created a longevity supplement called Killer Biotic, and it doesn't kill the bad bacteria. I guess antibiotics themselves that are prescribed now, they kill the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, right?
Correct.
And so that's why you prefer not to use them.
Exactly. And if somebody does do that, you want to supplement with a probiotic. So, and you can find many in the stores and the internet. HMF Formulas makes a great one. Genestra.
So what is a probiotic, if you can explain it?
Well, basically it helps supplement the gut flora. So when you have it in there, it's also going to help with your digestion. It helps boost the immune system. So
is it good bacteria then?
Yes, it's good bacteria that helps the body heal.
So why are there so many different kinds? I've seen them in the store. They have all different kinds. They even have some in the refrigerators that it looks like you've got to keep them refrigerated.
Right, and they have different ones like that depending on how they prepare it. So, I've seen people get great effects from both.
Do you have any recommendations of which you prefer?
Well, I like to use the HMF Formulas or Genestra.
Genestra or HMF. Okay, that's cool. And do you recommend that somebody take probiotics often? Because there are people that do take them as a supplement like every day.
Yeah, it's fine doing that. Like I said, it helps digestion and it's going to help the immune system. So if you do that, you can live a better quality of life.
Which probably if the gut is working well, because the bacteria goes to the gut, and, the stomach and intestines and everything, then you're probably going to be able to absorb all the nutrients and stay healthy, right?
Exactly.
So when you think for you, the area that you have enjoyed the most, that you get the most results from, what is that? Which is the area of the naturopathic that you like the best?
I would say the food.
The food.
Let the food be your medicine. Mm-hmm.
So tell people how to do that. That would be really helpful.
Well, basically, you can eat foods that are alkaline. So, you want to lessen the sugar, and you want to eat fruits and vegetables. But, of course, fruits have sugar in them, but you've got the natural sugar. And by supplementing more of the vegetables in there, you're helping to alkalize the blood pH. And, of course, when you do that, once again, you are decreasing the inflammation, which you're going to be able to digest your food better. You're boosting the immune system. And, basically, if you go to the store, stay around the outside.
Right.
You don't need to be going through the aisles. You stay around the outside, you're going to get those fruits and vegetables and the foods that we should be supplementing our body with.
When you say the body is more alkaline, it reminds me of high blood pressure. I've known people that have taken baking soda, just like half a teaspoon of baking soda, to bring their blood pressure down quickly because it got high that day. And they said that your body can't get high blood pressure in an alkaline body, or the more alkaline it is, or something like that. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know too much about that. I haven't heard about that.
Some people say apple cider vinegar does it. And so I wasn't sure why. It's like the more alkaline the body is, the less the blood pressure can go high.
Well, with blood pressure, it's, it deals with the veins. So if your veins or arteries are if they're more dilated, which means they're more stretched out, more room for fluid to pass through, your blood pressure is going to be lower, naturally. Mm-hmm. So, that's why, when you're highly stressed, your body goes right into acidic mode with the snap of a finger. It's just that quick. So if you can get your body to relax and just be more relaxed, you're going to have that effect on the veins and arteries. So your blood pressure is going to naturally go down.
So vegetables, fruit, and then how about meats?
Meats.
Do you think meats or just proteins? What would you suggest?
Well, meats are fine as long as you have a ratio like 70-30, 70% alkaline foods, 30% acidic foods. So you can have the meats. Meats are proteins. So you break it down, amino acids, and of course it does acidify your blood pH a bit. But you can have there's meats, and there's meats who are treated with antibiotics in the cows. So
right, which we can talk about that. I mean, so when you say that, the best place to get meat is to get meat without those antibiotics and hormones in them. So that would be like buying from a farmer, buying at a natural grocery store. Mm-hmm. I know that Kroger has Nolan Ryan, at least here in Texas. Kroger has Nolan Ryan's meat, and it's all natural, free range. It means that they chew on the grass, right? And they're not fed the corn, which doesn't work in their four stomachs, because cows have four stomachs. So then they didn't have the antibiotics or the hormones added. I can't imagine what it does to these people when you get, I mean, I think of women especially, women eating all these hormones. You don't know what they are, right? I mean, what kind of hormone? They could be eating testosterone. I've always wondered, like, what kind of hormones are in there? Do you know?
I'm not. At the moment, I do not. But
men,
if you start going hair on your chest, we got problems here.
For men taking the women's hormone, I thought, what are we eating? Right? So it always cracks me up. But eating, especially the chicken with the antibiotics in it, more chickens, I guess, have the antibiotics. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't really know, but we buy our meat from either the Nolan Ryan or from the natural grocery store, the Farmers Market 1926 Farmers Market by our house, or the feed store here, because we don't want the antibiotics and the hormones. So if you're eating that, what does that do to you?
Well, basically, when you have the antibiotics, if you either eat that in the meat or if it's prescribed too much, your body, it won't have the same effect on the body. It won't be able to fight off those that bacteria. So your body kind of becomes immune to it. So then now you've got a bigger problem next time somebody tries to prescribe you that same antibiotic. It's not gonna work. Exactly.
Which is really kind of an epidemic in our country, I guess. Now people are much more aware what antibiotics have done as far as getting too many all the time. Not only get them prescribed all the time from the doctor to maybe not take it if you really don't need it, and then definitely try not to get it in your milk. Right? From the cows, get it in your meat, get it in your chicken. Because I think what I have come to realize when I started learning all about that is, oh my goodness, I was like getting it every day. Every day. And so I have, over the last few years, probably 5 years, gotten sick so little that I really don't even need medical care. And so I wonder if before that, because I was taking antibiotics and everything, if I was just getting totally immune and nothing was able to fight off the illness. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like with milk, for example, my daughter, she knows if she drinks milk, she gets all, stopped up and runny nose and just foggy-like. And so she's real bad with ear infections. So when she takes that, she'll end up with usually ear infection, and she knows now to avoid that, on a daily basis. She's like, oh, I can't have that, Dad. I don't want an ear infection today. Something like that.
Can't have milk.
She's 7.
Really? That's what it sounds like. So do you get free-range milk or organic milk? What do you get?
I do almond milk.
Almond milk,
rice
yes.
milk. I mean, sometimes I'll make my own almond milk.
Now, you didn't mention soy milk.
No.
Tell us about soy.
I had a situation with that, my first child. She was about 7 years old, and we supplemented everything. Soy formula, soy milk, and she did not have a very good reaction to that.
She's allergic to soy?
She wasn't allergic to it. She just started having precocious puberty type symptoms.
Precocious puberty.
Yes.
So what would that be?
Well, it'd be like hair growth.
That's so not good.
at 5 years old.
Oh no.
So that was it was an experience, and I was in medical school at the time. I was like, Doc, we need to check this out, And
so you found out it was the milk. Oh no, it was the soy milk.
It was the soy estrogen. Yes.
Oh yeah. So there's estrogen in soy.
Estrogenic. Yes, it can have the estrogenic effect on the body.
I did not know that.
Yes,
okay, guys, you might want to know that.
So that happened with my 6-year-old, and so after that, we didn't do that anymore with the next 2 children.
So you're real careful with soy. Mm-hmm. Well, and I think now too, because they have hybridized the seed of the soybean, So it actually is genetically altered to include insecticides so that they don't have to spray the fields anymore for wheat or soy. And so the person who designed that seed is Monsanto, the chemical company. And so soy now has that insecticide actually altered into the seed. And so you can't even imagine what happens inside of us, what's happening to our bodies getting that. It's very hard to even find natural soy anymore that doesn't have the insecticide in it.
I was not aware of that one.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky. Yeah, you guys can Google that and read about that. Yeah, so you wouldn't suggest soy. You would suggest almond milk.
Coconut milk.
Coconut milk.
We also do that as well. And sometimes you can buy the one at the natural grocery store with the almond and coconut milk together.
What about goat milk?
Goat milk is pretty similar to human milk. A lot of people who are allergic to cow's milk can drink the goat milk and not have the reflux or the reactions to it like they do to cow's milk.
And some people like goat milk. I think it's an acquired taste. And goat cheese. I actually tasted some the other day. It was just incredible. I was so surprised, But okay, so that's good to know. What do you think about the middle of the grocery store? You said to go around the edges. Don't go in the middles. And that means all the carbs and sugars. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, or processed foods.
And what does that do to your body?
Well, it can basically hinder your immune system. There's lots of chemicals added to them, and you just never know how your body's going to react, whether it's a red 40 or a blue or whatever color it is that they put in there.
Whatever color. It's not natural, right?
Exactly, definitely not natural.
Unless there's a natural food aisle.
And if you cannot read the label,
don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
Yes. Well, it's funny because we were listening to Dr. Wallach's new book coming out. He was talking about his book, and he was specifically talking about in the 1901 when a certain company discovered they came up with a lubricant in place of oils for machines, and that they came up with what's known now as Crisco. And it was actually a cheaper lubricant for big machinery. And it was made from animal fat of some kind, beef fat or something. And they added stuff to it, and it was cheaper than butter or lard as well. And so the company started thinking, we would make more money selling it as a food than selling it only as lubricant for machines. So they got with an advertising company to advertise about why Crisco would be better than fat or lard, and started this whole thing on fat and lard hurting the body. And it became this huge phenomenon that everyone started taking Crisco and using Crisco to cook instead. And then, of course, it's caused all this cancer and everything. It's just, I was like, wow, I did not know that. And so I didn't know if you've heard that.
I had not heard about that, but if the same thing like we were talking about alkalizing the blood pH, cancer cannot, survive that well in an alkaline environment. So if you're, like we said earlier, if you're more alkaline, your immune system's going to be able to fight it better.
And that's with fruits and vegetables for sure. And then protein, probiotics, healthy protein that doesn't have the antibiotics or the hormones in it, right? Okay. Well, I know that you also work with medical massage and massage. You have different kinds of massage that you do.
Yes.
And then you also use essential oils a lot. Is there anything else I'm missing that you do?
That's pretty much mainly what I do. In Arizona, we'll also do manipulation of the body.
Is that like chiropractic?
It's like chiropractic, yes.
And that's part of what a naturopathic learns in med school, right?
Yes.
Okay. You don't do acupuncture, acupressure. Did you learn that?
Well, we learned acupuncture as well. Chinese herbs. We learned homeopathy, which is German-based medicine, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. And we did we had women's medicine, like the gyne exams, clinics,
Oh, okay.
all that
I was
stuff.
like,
so
yeah.
we urology.
Really, urology.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear about that. What you guys learned about healing. I'm sorry, not healing. Making all the symptoms go away for cancer. Can you say it like that?
Well, we had for the prostate, using the flaxseed, using pumpkin seed, saw palmetto. All those are really beneficial to the prostate.
Now, those are really the omega-3, 6, and 9s, right? Because I know if you eat pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds and flaxseed oil, you can eat the seeds instead of taking the oils.
Correct.
So, okay.
But also works as great fiber as well with the flaxseed. So,
which is better than just getting the oils, I guess, the fiber. Wow. Okay, so we'd love to hear more about that after break. And then the people, I would love for you to talk to people about the acupuncture and the acupressure, so they can really understand, because it sounds kind of, acupressure doesn't, but the acupuncture sounds a little, painful. And yet I've had so many people tell me they don't feel it at all. And my grandmother got it for her macular degeneration and the dry eyes. She went and they did it around her eyes, right around the skin of the eyes. It was so freaky. And she said she didn't feel a thing. And it actually helped her see better. And so I'd love to talk about that right after the break. So right now we're going to go to break, and we'll return right back here with Living Well.
Life Solutions Coaching and Counseling in Fort Worth, Texas is a full-service wellness clinic providing individual, group, and family counseling, one-on-one coaching for life and wellness, and naturopathic treatments of medical massage therapy combined with essential oils to ensure you reach your health and wellness goals. Sessions are available in person or by phone. Get started on your new life today. Just call 817-232-1363 or go to LifeSolutionsCoachingandCounseling.com or email them at LifeSolutionsCC@yahoo.com.
Most married men experience frustration because there are things they want from their wives but don't know how to get them. Nothing seems to work. Desires are unfulfilled, fantasies unrealized, and relationships become stagnant. Men are desperate today for a richer, deeper, more satisfying, and intimate marriage. Dr. Jim Slaughter teaches men how to have the passionate, fulfilling marriage they've always wanted. Call 817-991-4964 or email jslaughterphd@yahoo.com to begin transforming your marriage into what you want it to be. You are listening to Living Well with Ann Beal. We'd love to hear from you with comments and questions about the show. Please send us an email to ablivingwell@gmail.com. That's ablivingwell@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's show.
Welcome back. I am Ann Beal, and this is Living Well. My guest today is Phil Flores, and he is a naturopathic doctor here at our clinic, Life Solutions Coaching and Counseling Wellness Clinic. And we are talking all about what naturopathic medicine is and all the different skills that Phil uses to help our clients and his patients. We talked a little bit before break on different things that he did and about nutrition and the importance of fruits and vegetables and good proteins that don't have antibiotics or hormones in it. Welcome back, Phil.
Thank you.
We were going to start right in on acupuncture and acupressure, because I don't know, a lot of people, acupressure, you kind of have an idea. People have an idea of like pressure points, and they have those funny little socks that show all the places on the feet that you can push for different parts of the body, right? And do you do that in massage?
Yes, that's a reflexology.
Reflexology. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to start there, or do you want to start with the acupuncture, acupuncture?
We can go with reflexology.
Okay, fill us in on that.
So basically with reflexology, you work on the foot, and the foot is pretty much a map of your body. So you go right along and you can cover everything from your low back to intestinal issues to sinuses. You can even you can palpate along the big toe, and you can feel, they've got some kind of either allergies going on or post-nasal drip. You'll feel little gritty
in the toe, in the feet.
Yes, in the feet. So you can actually tell them, are you experiencing any kind of allergies here recently? And they're like, oh, yes, and you can, and they'll like, well, how did he know? And I was working on this one lady one time, and I said, are you experiencing any post-nasal drip? And she was like, no, I'm totally fine. Next day, it'll show up in the foot before you feel it in the body.
So can you do anything about that when you massage the feet or whatever you do with the feet?
Yeah, try to break that down and get them to recover faster. Yes.
And then the essential oils, because we have essential oils, and there are times like with the thieves that you put it on your feet. Is there anything about that? Why you do that?
Well, we use the thieves to get the body to feel better.
So by putting it on the feet, does it work faster? Why do they have you put it on your feet?
Well, you don't necessarily have to put it on the feet. You can put it on your wrists. You can. It's a pretty small molecule, so it can go from your skin into your your body like within a matter of seconds. So putting
on your toes, I've wondered, because some people say put it on your toes. I thought, why do I do that? So you're saying you don't have to do that. You can put it even, because it smells really good. It helps you with breathing. I know you had said put it on your hands and breathe. And so I wasn't sure if it had anything to do with that reflexology.
Yeah, it's a great aromatic effect. It's soothing. It smells really good, and it just helps your body.
So the reflexology, you do that with people as a kind of, is it like a medical thing or?
Well, I did have an instant where I had, many times, but like with 4-year-olds, you can, or 3-year-olds or 1-year-olds, if they're constipated, you could just go along. If you can look up, you can pull it up on Google and just the map of the foot, and you see where the large intestine starts up on the right side and goes across the middle over to the left side and then down.
On the foot.
You got the ascending, transverse, and descending colon. And you just rub along that area, and within minutes, they'll be going to the bathroom.
Minutes. So be careful how long you do that. That's really cool. Now, how about the acupuncture?
Well, the acupuncture, I learned that in medical school. Dr. Dane, Chinese medical doctor.
You didn't make that up. That's a real name.
That's a real name. And he probably taught it to us for like 3 years or so, and he had clinical rotations in it where we come in with a certain condition, we will choose certain points, and you come in with back pain, we'll do different points for that. So, and they combine different, like Dr. Tan protocol, for example. If you had low back pain, you would put the needles in between the fingers. So, like in the knuckles, you put them in there. They call it the Ashi points, and it would, within minutes, you would feel relief. Like they stand up and say, "Show me where your back pain is." They couldn't because they wouldn't feel it anymore. So it was gone. So that was really, really exciting.
Well, that's one of the easiest things to do then for back pain. When people think of acupuncture and the needles, I don't think they realize how small they are unless they've had it done before. They are very teeny.
Well, there's different gauges, to tell you the truth. There's the smaller the gauge, of course, the less you're going to feel it. And some have longer needles, shorter needles. And, it's been shown where if it doesn't have to necessarily be that long, as long as you're in the right spot, it usually has pretty good effect. Also, the smaller ones for scalp acupuncture, I went to a conference in Milpitas, California with Dr. Ming-King Zhu. It's ZHU. And you can check out how he did a lot of stroke rehabilitation with scalp acupuncture.
That's amazing.
We had 6 days of just nothing but amazing things going on there. I have a friend, and he had a stroke May 2nd of last year. Paralyzed completely on the left side. 5 months of therapy, 7 hours a day. Still could not move that left arm, not even a millimeter.
Wow.
And I was like, "You've got to come with me to this conference." I said, "We'll get your arm moving." Of course, I prayed every day, "Lord, please, when we get there, just let him move that arm." And the moment he showed up, we took him right up, in his wheelchair up to the room where we were doing the therapy. And within less than 5 minutes of putting 5 needles in his head, Dr. Zhu was like, "Move your arm." He's like, "I can't." "Move your arm." All of a sudden, that arm moves. It moves from like his side up to his leg. we're like, all right, everybody just started clapping and people crying. I mean, it was so exciting. And next he's like, okay. He goes, you're from Texas, right? He goes, right now, you only got chicken feet. If you get it up to your chest, I'll give you chicken head.
That's so funny.
He goes, and you get it to your nose, I'll give you whole cow. Because, of course, being from Texas, we eat a lot of barbecue over here. But he was able to bring it up just below his chin. And, I mean, that was just within 5 minutes of putting those needles in.
So what would you do with that? Would you keep doing that therapy with the needles every day or every week? Or?
Well, with the stroke, if you can catch it within the first few hours, days, you can recover probably 90 to 100% almost, 90 to 98%.
That's amazing. And that's with the scalp acupuncture.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Doctors use scalp acupuncture.
Okay. Well, wow.
We had people with MS. One person come in there and wheelchair bound for 3 months, put the needles on the head. And these needles are so tiny, they don't even hurt. I mean, there's not much pain at all. It goes parallel. It doesn't go into the cranium. It goes parallel about 4 inches deep. Not 4 inches deep. 4 levels deep in the dermis.
The skin.
The skin.
Okay.
And same thing with this lady, 30-something years old, gets up, starts walking after she had been wheelchair bound for 3 months. Another guy, paralyzed tongue, hit his face, able to stand up, and actually swallow. But before that, he couldn't swallow. He couldn't speak. He lost his ability to speak. Mm-hmm. He was a mechanic. And we had another guy that had a brain tumor, a slur in his speech. He was an actor and an opera singer. Flew in from China to California for this conference. And within probably about 20 minutes, he was saying all kinds of tongue twisters, so clear, no slurring, that the Chinese translator couldn't even keep up with him. It was awesome. And afterwards, he sang opera for us and just did great. And we had another 65-year-old, used to be a professional ballet dancer, and she couldn't even walk straight. I mean, she was walking with a cane. I mean, it looked like she was about to fall down. And with every step. And for 6 years, she had been getting worse and worse. Couldn't figure out what it was. Something with the little white spots in the brain, they kept telling her, and she didn't know, and that's what she kept saying. So we did this within a matter of 20 minutes. The cane is over there on the floor. She's walking totally fine. No problem. We kept the needles in for probably 3 days. Then we take them out and switch them out again and just keep stimulating the points.
So you're actually stimulating really the brain in some ways, or the vessels, or what are you stimulating?
Well, basically it just allows the body to open the meridians. You have meridians that go all over the body, and meridians is basically different points along the body that can either start at the hands, at the feet, and what you're doing is basically clearing these channels, allowing the energy to flow through.
Right.
As they call the chi.
The chi, which is what we used in ninjutsu. We talked all about that. And my instructor was actually a psychologist who did acupuncture and acupressure for smoking, lots of things to get rid of cravings and everything. And he taught us all about those meridian lines. And a lot of people who, they can't see them, right? And the actual MD med schools don't teach that. And so a lot of people just think that's hocus pocus. And yet we see that it's true and it works. And a lot of people don't realize how easy it is for a lot of these things out there to have them go away. A lot of the symptoms. And if you were to take medicine, the MDs don't know a lot about chronic symptoms. And they're not taught how to get rid of chronic symptoms. They're taught how to manage them with drugs. Acute drugs. And so how many drugs would that person have been on, if you think of like 11 different drugs and it's still not working. Mm-hmm. And that's something so simple. So the essential oils that you use, what do you mainly use them for?
I mainly use them. Well, it's a plethora of things, but I can't really say like what they do specifically. But I mean, as far as organ systems, I mean, use them for respiratory. Use them just better well-being, basically. Trying to make that person feel better and do it by just either doing aromatically in a diffuser or putting it on their body topically or even ingesting.
Why do they call them essential? oils?
Essential oils?
Mm-hmm.
For example, in essential oils, your body doesn't make it, right? And so you need it from an outside source.
Which is the same thing they say about
essential fatty acids
and essential nutrients, essential amino acids. Your body doesn't make it, but it needs it. Mm-hmm. And so it has to have it.
Right.
And so the essential oils, when I was reading, they said that they're actually, I mean, if you think about it, like lemon oil, it's a very concentrated dose of, it's the oil of the lemon.
Right, and actually it comes from the rind, the lemon rind.
And so it's very strong. So you're not just getting a little lemon, you're getting a high-grade lemon.
Right, and same thing with this. It's not coming from the pulp. The pulp can have a tendency to kind of take the layers off the teeth, So,
is that what it is? It's that. Oh.
So the one from the rind will not have that effect.
And orange oil. And so a lot of these oils, they're all very concentrated, so they're high-grade, and
they're therapeutic grade.
And so they absorb into your skin. I mean, it is food. You're just not eating it. You're absorbing it. Is that right?
Well, you can also ingest it as well.
Yeah, that's true. Because the thieves I could drink in water when I was sick, when I had a virus. Cold, So I did actually take it. So lemon oil. I know you had it for one of your presentations. You had lemon oil in the cookies. And you had peppermint oil in the brownies.
Yes. And
you had lemon oil in the water. Mm-hmm. And so it was really good.
We just want to try to, helps alkalize the blood pH. And, we use them just for the betterment of the body, basically.
Yes, and if you look up essential oils, you can go on the internet and look that up. You can see all the oils. Now, the actual oils that you use most of the time are Young Living.
Young Living essential oils, yes.
Now, why Young Living?
It's just Dr. Young really goes above and beyond to try to get a very high-grade oil. He sends it off to France, to get it tested, and he only bottles about, I believe it's 22% or 22 to 28% because of the quality. After that, the quality starts going down, so he prefers to have quantity versus quality. So every now and then you might try to order an oil and it's out of stock.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to, make it a less quality oil. So you're going to have to wait for the good stuff.
And Longevity has the oils as well. Some of them have the same name. But when you go to the grocery store, you go to the natural food store, they're probably not as high quality as Young Living or Longevity. Some of them aren't even 100% the oil. They have other things added in.
Right. They've been adulterated. So you want to make sure when you have an essential oil that it does not have an expiration date. If it has an expiration date, then it's been adulterated because the essential oil should last.
Adulterated. That's hilarious that you say it. Corrupted. Like what? It's not full.
It's not 100%. 100%.
Okay. And you really want 100%.
You do, because if it has an expiration date, don't buy it.
What? So if it's 100%, it lasts forever.
Exactly.
Unless I know I have to be careful not leaving the top off because it will evaporate.
It will be gone really, really
It was
fast.
crazy, yeah, that happened.
I mean, another thing that can mess up the oils is high temperatures.
Like having them in your hot car in the summer.
Yes, you don't want to do that. If you notice, most essential oils will come in a dark bottle. Mm-hmm. So that's to keep the oil from going rancid or stuff like that.
Okay.
But always just keep them in a regular room temperature or in your pockets.
Now, you do different kinds of massage with the oils as well.
I do. We do a raindrop technique. I'll use it when somebody to help the muscles feel better.
So that raindrop technique, I saw how many oils go into that. How many is that? 12?
That's 9 oils.
9 oils. Mm-hmm. And you put them where
you put them on the feet.
Okay.
So it absorbs everything from the sacrum up to the neck on the feet. So it goes from the heel up to your big toe. Okay. And you do 3 passes with the 7 oils on there. And you can also use Valor on the heels just to ground the person. And on the back, once you flip them, you're going to use all 9 oils. That's oregano, thyme, basil, marjoram, cypress, wintergreen, peppermint, aromaceae, and Valor.
So what do they get from that? How do they feel afterwards? I mean, what's the point for that?
Well, a lot of people just feel so much better. I mean, they're relaxed, and it just like I said, when I say better quality of life. So they're able to just function better.
Yeah, they come over here after they get the massage from you for my session with them, and they're like so relaxed. I'm like, do you really come over here after that? Then what other kind of massage do you do?
I do therapeutic massages. So basically, if you have shoulder problems or frozen shoulder, low back pain, sciatica, which is the nerve right there on just below the waist that makes your leg go numb. Mm-hmm. We work on doing stretches. So basically, there's a lot of benefits you can get from massage. I mean, it's a deeper relaxation, better sleep. Because stress itself can cause many conditions or diseases. Because what happens when you get stressed?
Well, everything about you goes up. Your body wears down. Yeah, so your muscles get tight.
Your acidity level.
Oh, see, I should have known that. So your acidic level goes up.
So yeah, it gets more acidic. So if you're doing that, what's your immune system doing? Like we said earlier, it's going down.
Because it's not alkaline anymore.
If you can remember, opportunistic infections. When do they happen? Well, say if you're on the verge right there, then all of a sudden you get stressed out. Well, now your body cannot fight it. That's what's known as opportunistic. It's just sitting there. You've got the bacteria in there or the virus. And once your immune system can't fight it, that's when it hits you. That's what it's called, opportunistic infections.
Okay. So could people, if they start realizing that, is there anything that they could do quickly to get their body back alkaline? And I don't mean taking an antacid, because I think that's what people, when they think, I can get rid of acid.
Well, believe it or not, even just breathing, taking deep breaths nice and slow will help alkalize the blood pH.
Really? Mm-hmm. Which they don't share that very much. So just breathing in through nose, out through mouth, just slowly breathing.
Yes.
Okay.
Doing the breathing.
So the massages really, because I know you massaged my husband's shoulder quite a bit when it was really hurting him, and you put some oils on it too. Do you remember what you put on it?
On him, it was the lemongrass, and I put lemongrass, clove, copaiba, and peppermint.
And he felt so much better.
It just smells so good.
It smells so good. So he'd just feel better, right? And it helps relax him so he doesn't get all uptight. No, I mean, whatever it is that you did, it is amazing what it does. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that there's massage there available, lots of different kinds. Now, you also do the cranial sacral?
Yes.
Now, what is that?
Cranial sacral is it's a light touch therapy to relieve tension in the muscles. For example, a lot of your central nervous system basically is you're palpating the body and you're feeling the rhythm of the cerebral spinal fluid as it's moving through the body, and you want to try to get it moving symmetrically throughout.
But there have been, like I know a girl that you worked with that you were doing something to her skull. She had really bad handwriting, dysgraphia, whatever you call that. Working and moving, whatever it was, her handwriting got better. What is that?
Well, basically, like I said, it allows the body to be more calm. So then maybe they slow down a bit and able to concentrate better. Mm-hmm. And like, for example, my daughter, she was 2.5, having 22 seizures a day. We started doing the cranial sacral, and it's just light touch therapy on her head, basically opening up the frontal bone, the temporal bone, the occipital, sphenoid. These are all bones in the cranium. And within the first session, she was having a seizure every 45 minutes to hour and 15 minutes. I mean, it was around the clock. But after her first session, 45 minutes, well, she went 2 hours with that one. So I told my wife, this is working, let's do it again. So we went back the next day. Then it went like 2.5, 3 hours. Then 4. So each time we kept doing this, we're probably doing 4 or 5 times a week. 5 weeks later, totally gone.
Totally gone. I like the way you said that.
Seizure free.
Seizure free, just from that therapy. Yes. Now, how would people reach you? How would people get a hold of you?
They can just call the number or call Life Solutions.
Give the number for you.
Number is 480-227-3750.
And that's to schedule with Dr. Phil Flores directly, or you can call Life Solutions Coaching and Counseling, our clinic, 817-232-1363. What if people have questions for you? Do you have how about your website or email?
Yeah, they can send me email. They can go to my website and they can send an email there. And that is currently www.massagebyphil.abmp.com.
Very good. abmp.com.
Yes.
Okay. Or you can go to LifeSolutionsCoachingAndCounseling.com and you'll see Dr. Phil and you can schedule with him there. We would just like you to be able to reach him if you need him, and we really appreciate you being on. Now, how old is your daughter now?
She is now 7, about to be 8 next Friday.
And she's seizure-free.
Seizure-free.
So that is amazing. I think a lot of people love to hear that, all those success stories. And we just thank you for being on, and we thank you guys for listening. And we'd love to have you back when you can come back and give us more info about all the medical things, because that we didn't get a lot into all the removing seizures. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. All the medical things that can be gone by different things that you do. Mm-hmm. So we'll have you back on. And thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for having me.
To Living Well with us. And we'll see you next week. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you again for joining us. Living Well with Ann Beal airs live every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. We can't wait to see you again next week.
Thanks again for listening to the preceding program, brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the preceding program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.